carry a water from the moon and the snow. I take control just to see you there. What a disaster! I break from the door. Give everything I can do, but you don't care. Yeah, I'm grateful that she was there. I tried to give her
Bless good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends. Bless good afternoon. Bless good afternoon. As you come up, I just want to encourage you, if you haven't yet, please do not forget to subscribe and please like and share. Again, it's Friday, the 8th of August in Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, it's 2025. Thompson, bless good afternoon. Lucky, bless good afternoon. Thomas, bless good afternoon. Pearl, Sammy, I see you. Bless good afternoon. I say bless good afternoon to our 648-868 family. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the next episode of Real Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, as you come up, I just want to encourage you to like, to share, and to subscribe. Brothers and sisters, today is a day we got to do some talking. We got to do some talking. So as you come up, only like and share. We got to talk today.
Baby, I love you. You still be done, we come together. Keep that thing so soft. Yeah, we don't give up. Cause baby, at least we know it's real. Everybody has a time, and everybody has a choice. Baby, I choose you. Cause you're crazy, match my crazy. You're my Beyonce,
and I'm your Jay-Z. You know, it's Friday in Trinidad and Tobago. So ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, whether you're in the workplace, whether you're in the nation's roadway, whether you're in transit, you might be looking to board a plane or a train, or you're looking to get in a taxi. We want to send out some love to you from the Real Talk studio. Bless good afternoon to you as you come up. We encourage you. Have a blessed afternoon. If that makes us toxic. Bless good afternoon, Matilda. Dalkisoon, bless good afternoon. Tara, bless good afternoon. Bless afternoon, every single one of our brothers and sisters. Bless good afternoon to you. Again, I must send out some love to my UNC, to my coalition family. I must send out some love to our Honorable Prime Minister and all you. You know, we ain't hesitating. We must send some love to our Member of Parliament here in Point Fortin, Mr. Ernesto Raymond Kiza. So wherever you are in Trinidad and Tobago, we're sending out some love, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're yellow, whether you're blue, whether you're green. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're over there in Tobago and you know that the anchor hole, we are holding back. Brothers and sisters, we have to talk. This is why I welcome you to Real Talk. It's like they want to see my people. I stay jealousy and grudges. Talky things that voice. Semantics, I see any building. Bless good afternoon. Hey. Tell them you ain't see we on business. Tell them we on business. We on nation building business. So let bad mind know if they're looking for we, they ain't see we. Tell them you ain't see we. Bless good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want to say a blessed good afternoon to you. Yes, somebody like Kati for me. I seen Jen up, Pearl Sammy, blessed good afternoon, Meltella, Semantics, each and every one of our brothers. Lucky Lal, blessed good afternoon. Blessed good afternoon to my partner, Dal Belly. Blessed good afternoon to Freeport. Blessed good afternoon to each and every one of our brothers and sisters. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of you have been tuning in. You're saying, boy, we like the Real Talk Show because, again, the calls, I've seen the messages. So I say thank you very much for the love, the support, the encouragement, and the continuous endorsement. But, brothers and sisters, it is our responsibility to mind our business here in Trinidad and Tobago. So if it is the Lord laid upon your heart, if it is you say, you see what's going on here at the Real Talk program and you say, nah, I have to be a part of that, well then my responsibility, if it is you're outside of Trinidad and Tobago, you could PayPal me at Trinidad Halls, or here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have our Scotial Bank account. Yes, it's the penal branch. Brothers and sisters, it's the penal branch because somebody called me and asked me, well, what branch? And then I see some WhatsApp text. So it's the penal branch. So ladies and gentlemen, all you know the vibes here. You know, is each one help on a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So as we continue to strengthen our links, as we continue to stay informed, I want to continue to wish you a blessed good afternoon. You know, we must send out some love to Cedros, Erin, Buenos Aires, Icacas. You know, I must distribute some love to Point 14, to Lobre, Vancouver, Cochrane, Rosilac, Chinese Village, Dow. Bless good afternoon to you. We must send some love in Golconda. We must distribute some love in Pinal, Saparia, Debe. We must distribute our love in San Fernando. San Fernando, big up yourself, Claxton Bay, Rio Claro, Mayaro. Bless good afternoon. Toko, Manzalina, are we talking about Sagaramas? We talking about Silots, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whether you're in Shogunas East, you could be in Shogunas West, you could be in Edinburgh 500, whether you're in Diego Martin East or West, wherever you are in this country, Silots, the Beatum. Bless good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Bless good afternoon to our brothers and sisters over there in Tobago. We continue to say that the anchor hold, and once the anchor hold, brothers and sisters, the shipping drifting, it ain't going no way. The anchor hold and the rope good. So you are in good hands in Tobago, and brothers and sisters, you know what's going on over on this side of us as of April 28th here in Trinidad and Tobago. The people of Trinidad and Tobago made the relevant decision to get rid of stress. They made the relevant decision to start to ask for proper justice. They get rid of a problem that has been wreaking havoc for the past 9.5 years in this country. But brothers and sisters, those of us who are common sense gonna know, it started way before 9.5 years when you sit back and you listen to all those who sit down and boast and talk about governance. This thing here is about representation. So as you come up, bless good afternoon to you. Brothers and sisters, family and friends, I just want to continue to encourage you again. My name is Irvin, and this is the next episode of the Real Talk Show. So as you come up, call somebody who knows somebody.
Take a chance now. I'm gonna take the money.
Mr. Daniel, bless good afternoon. Bless good afternoon.
Last up of a canal is
madness in the capital. All you hear is I come to talk a little bit today. Again, remember the phone lines are open. So let me get this off the screen. So again, you could PayPal me. Those of you outside of Trinidad and Tobago and see what's going on and say you want to be a part of it. You could PayPal me at Trinidad Halls, or you could utilize our local banking account number. Yes, it's the penal branch, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Scotia Bank. The number is 463-754-021-575. And again, bless good afternoon. Bless good afternoon. As I come up, I encourage you. Let's share the live. Let's talk. And brothers and sisters, before we go forward, I want to just we had to do some thanking. We had to thank the United States government with the ship that is in Trinidad and Tobago. We're thanking you all for coming to Trinidad and Tobago and bringing the relevant support. And as I see it today, I say, whoa, today's a good day to dig up in this newspapers. As I see it. So I'm going to start by showing you the headline wherever you are in this country, and you're going to see what it is we're dealing with here. You understand what it is we're dealing with here? So as much as we're thanking the United States of America, we must hold on to the information. Hours spent waiting for free medical service at Napa. Listen to the conversation. Hours spent waiting for free medical service at Napa. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, we sit with a new government in Trinidad and Tobago. My responsibility is to keep the conversation factual. So we go touch a little bit about CPEP. We go have to touch a little bit about Faris Alwari. Today we go have to talk a little bit on the medical situation in Trinidad and Tobago, because based on the evidence that is being displayed and our responsibilities to always, listen to me, we the people of Trinidad and Tobago must be held accountable for our actions. So I'm starting with, this is those who continue to say they're supporting the former administration. You're supporting people like Marvin Gonzalez and Brian Manning and these representatives who just the other day couldn't speak. All of a sudden, everybody received their voice. It is nice to see this year the Emancipation Committee have a voice. Lovely, lovely. It is nice to see that the average Trinbagonian citizen in this country all of a sudden have a voice. It is nice to see and listen to the expectations of the average Trinbagonian citizen. The majority of all you, my question I'm asking all you, where all you was all the time? When school was flooding, where were you? Petrotrin closed down, where were you? The medical structure of Trinidad and Tobago continued to be dilapidated. Where were you? This thing even ended up so disrespectful. It ended up so out of timing and so outrageous that the last action the former administration put in, the last disrespectful act that they delivered to Trinidad and Tobago, they said they opened a new wing, a new hospital. Didn't completely furnish the first floor. And give us all the rest of floors incomplete. And their conversation from their supporters is at least we get an incomplete building. Going forward in Trinidad and Tobago, not for our taxpaying dollars. Again, I want to send out some love to my Attorney General. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you. No matter the spirituality, no matter the ethnicity, please lift up our Attorney General, who has one of the most important responsibility alongside our Prime Minister. Because brothers and sisters, as I continue to tell you, you might be under the impression that your country is stuck. You might be under the impression that your country ain't going nowhere. But remember, this pamphlet was handed out before elections. Look, I find two more. They were handed out. This one here is UNC-led government aims to restore prosperity to the working class of Trinidad and Tobago. They say they didn't have a plan. They're sounding like a plan to me. Where is the next one name? The Ministry of Education is a key leader in formulating the UNC Strategic National Development Plan. Look the document right here. No matter what failing talk show you tune into, all those who continue to support that failed government that disrespected every single citizen, they didn't even have enough respect to respect their own supporters. They disrespected every single citizen the way how they represented as a government. And their argument today is, UNC have a plan. Ladies and gentlemen of Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who support the United National Congress and the Coalition of Interests, I continue to explain to you, if you do not have a copy of this, you do not continue to go back to this, you would be under the impression that your country shut down. You would be under the impression that your country is going nowhere. It's not me, you know. It's not you. There was a group of persons that told us that they were red and ready. And they explained to us that they were ready, that the people of Trinidad and Tobago give them 2 terms, which today we question in those elections. Based on how the former Prime Minister was able to announce who was victorious in the election before the elections and boundaries. So I'm starting today's conversation because we have more election to evolve into in Trinidad and Tobago. And brothers and sisters, despite all the old talk and the mama guy, despite the pastor who does sit down and lie in the name of Jesus, it have a next one collect $30,000, they wipe them out, they drop off a bag by the less fortunate. They help nobody with a roof. They help nobody with a grant. They help nobody with nothing. It have a next one banning up their head in Port of Spain. They know all what African people supposed to do in this country. African people supposed to continue to murder. We supposed to continue to beg. We supposed to continue cutting grass. We supposed to continue doing every single thing. But being engineers. We can't be engineers. We can't be doctors and lawyers. That is not for us. We can't be successful businessmen and businesswomen. You know why? You know why? Ladies and gentlemen, before I explain to you why, let me do this thing with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father is your son, Irvin. Father, I want to thank you. I want to give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. And as we come to you today with today's Real Talk program, Father, we lift up each and every representing factor. I say a special prayer for my member of parliament and his entire team. Father, I lift up my honorable Prime Minister and every person that is representing under her. We even say a special prayer for councillors and all them on this today, Lord. Father, we want to say a special prayer for every household, every family, every marriage, every relationship. We lift up every child. Those who are out in programs and those who are home, Father, we pray that every house have something to give his children when they come back in this afternoon. Father, we want to thank you for covering Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for removing us from the hands of bondage, Lord. Thank you for opening minds and hearts. Thank you for opening situations where citizens could see that we were being deceived by governing authority. Father, we even want to ask that you encamp your angels around our government. Father, we pray that every single decision that is made continue to be made based on the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Lord, I say a special prayer for the young men and the young women in this nation. Father, I pray for all those who misinform, those who underinform, and Father, I ask for a change in those who just in business. Lord, I ask for a change in tide, I ask for a change in actions. For with change in actions, there's a change in outcome. And your word said, ask and we shall receive. So I'm asking that you take hold of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm asking that you cover our citizens that is outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Father, asking that governments continue to find favor in our citizens outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Father, you continue to take charge of our entire Caribbean. And I even want to say a special prayer for war-prone areas today, Lord. Father, I ask that you just have your way where there seems to be no way. Lord, we say less of us, every single thing that is being said and done is for your honor and for your glory. To open minds and open hearts, Lord. Father, your word said, weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. You said If your people who are called by your name, so Father, we are called by your name. So we call in each and every spiritual denomination in Trinidad and Tobago. Father, you give them the unction to function. Give them the power, give them the will and the vigor to come out in the nation's roadway and proclaim your name. So Father, we pray for every spiritual denomination, whether Hindu to Baptist, Jehovah Witness, 7 Days Adventist, Ethiopian Orthodox. Father, you just have your way in every group. Lord, we thank you. We worship you. We give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. And I say a special prayer for my lovely wife that is out there today. I say a special prayer for the twins that is out there. Lord, I lift up my children to you in a special way. Father, you continue to use this family. Use us as instruments in your house. Father, use us to push prosperity, unity, and peace in Trinidad and Tobago. Father, we thank you. We give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory in no other name but Jesus' name. Amen and amen. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, blessed good afternoon. Blessed good afternoon. Again, I want to send out some shout-outs to my UNC family. I'm sending out some love, some shout-outs to every stable-minded Trinbagonian citizen, whether you just follow politics or not. Blessed good afternoon to you. I'm sending some love out to our brothers and sisters over there in New York City, those in Toronto, Canada, those in England, ladies and gentlemen, all those in Amsterdam, British Virgin Island. We even have some people viewing down Venezuela. Blessed good afternoon to each and every one of you from the Real Talk, the 648 studio. Nothing but love. But boy, we had to talk a little bit today. We had to talk a little bit today. Now, mind me what I want to start with. I want to start with this conversation here. Hours spent waiting for free medical. Let me see if we could get hundreds of people hoping to access free medical service at Napa were left frustrated as large crowd and slow-moving lines left people who arrived as early as 5:30 a.m. without medical treatment as noon approached on August the 7th. Listen to me. I understand some people. Now, mind me. I understand some people who is frustrated, but my responsibility is to explain to every single person who was out there yesterday, and if all was always PNM, all they have no reason to be frustrated. Why? Because PNM held press conference after press conference. All they allowed the former prime minister to jump on plane. He went CARICOM, he went all over the world. He explained to people that healthcare free in this country. He even sent back pictures with he and his wife on a boat, but they in a good spirit. That very same day, the hospital in Port of Spain put out information that they're doing my insulin. And the prime minister, the man who running the country, you in Miami, you in a good spirit. You left your medical structure in Trinidad and Tobago drastically dilapidated. It reached to the point that our grandparents had to come and sit down in front of health centers and clinic on broken chairs. So it is ironic that some people, I could understand if it is you have been supporting UNC for the longest. You sit back and listen to your opposition, which is your government today, talk about the shortcomings, listen to them talk about plans and things that could have been done better. And the governing authorities sat back. They did nothing to address these things. Ladies and gentlemen, it brings me no joy to continue to remind you that over 144 billion US dollars was borrowed. Look at the condition of the healthcare sector. Hundreds of people lined up outside in front of Napa to receive free medical service like we as refugees in our own country. And yet still, when you look at the data, the amount of monies that was borrowed under the former administration, look at the medical structure. Even our nurses' assistants had to match for the little kakada. The structure of the nursing assistant, people living in Point, they're sending them quite. And they had to travel with the little kakada and they wasn't getting it on time. So it's kind of ironic for me when I listen to some people in this country telling me about this person get paid late. When the nursing assistants was complaining that they wasn't receiving the stipend. Where all it was, at least my government dealing with corruption. You had a government that was actually in its second term that couldn't explain where our monies were spent, and they wasn't even handling the nurses assistants. They wasn't even handling school buses. They wasn't handling tea and tech affairs. They left Wassa dormant. Brothers and sisters, me here to sell you no dream, you know. I bounce up Wassa man already, have to hold the finger bleeding, the wrench ain't good, the spanner ain't good, nothing ain't good. Nothing ain't good. And all you allow the former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago to slip through the crack, put in a puppet. One day, so like what going on, I go put you in. One day you go just go, you go shut down the parliament. The next day you call election, and I go make sure you get $86,000. That is what you go do for me, okay? Once you get through with that, that go set me up. I go become the president of Trinidad and Tobago. We go continue robbing the backside. We go rob them blind. When we done with them, they can't see the way. Why you think we will get through with that, boy? Boy, what to you, boy? What to you, boy? I don't chain up the African population already. They didn't have nothing them Indian and them in UNC could tell African people in this country to get them to support them. Me and my party, we don't chain up every single thing. So here what you go do. You go forward, but Rowley, me no African soldier is I controlling this. I controlling this. But Rowley, me no African, but I barely a Indian. Hey, I controlling this. I putting you there, and I telling you that if we put a crapo in a suit, the people of Trinidad and Tobago will vote for PNM. That is where they work on and they beat you with that. So when we grandmothers was complaining about not receiving medical to close off the prescription, because they didn't get no raise. They didn't get no raise. Nobody made relevant adjustment of the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. They did their mathematics, and the mathematics say if you get a roof grant, you can't get a hamper. If you get a roof grant and a hamper, you're double dipping. You're greedy, eye too long. And then went around the world and tell the entire world that healthcare free. They tell the world healthcare free. Everything free. Everything free. In the name of PNM, everything free. When you hear Felix and them talking down in point, they're lying, healthcare free. When you hear Jason De Silva talking up the road, he lying, healthcare free. Don't bother with Anel Roberts, he on politics, healthcare free. Opinion box talking a pack of crap, healthcare is free. Don't bother with TC and Heavy, them on rubbish, all their healthcare is free. The PNM have the people interest at heart. All them live video will start going around and make up box. Listen, make up all kind of cardboard box and show the whole world in complete schools. All them thing is lie. UNC pay stack to go around the place and make up cardboard building and tell the world how much schools was left incomplete under the PNM. All of them lying and they're fighting we down. Healthcare is free in Trinidad and Tobago. Healthcare is so free that we could make we minister a health. We could make him get up in tongue. And first healthcare free. First things going good in this country. We could put him in the square and he will show people when they're visiting Trinidad how to wine. First thing nice in this country. We minister health and him bound to worry about health. He could come out in tongue and wine. We don't have Marshall for that. Young brother dancers, we don't have them for that. So the former governing authority, everything where everybody else was doing, them doing. The only thing that they didn't do was govern and run this country in an efficient and respectful way so that the average citizen could profit from it. So you see what's going on here now? This is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. Rowley inherited a country with 2 oil booms. 2 oil booms this country had. It could be more. They inherited a country with money. Spend the money. And there is no way that they could show where the money was spent. So now when the ship coming down the road and they tell you they're reaching in, let me see how much days they get that to spend. They reach down the road on the 6th. And they will remain until the 9th. So when you think you come down the road to spend at 3 days, ladies and gentlemen, I'll look at the line, you know. Look at the line. Look at the line. Look at the line. And the PNM government is responsible for borrowing $144 billion on the backs of people. Give us an incomplete. Now, mind me, first, what they did is a heavy act of treason. Build a building. Give us it incomplete. Inherited a building when Ms. Kamala Persad lost the election the first time around. They inherited the Children's Hospital with all the equipment. Machine done calibrate. Machine done plug in wall. All they had to do was complete a little driveway coming out. Everything else was completed. When they won election, they made that an issue. They said the hospital incomplete, UNC disrespectful. Look there, finish the car park, the driveway. Look there, finish the driveway, and they're telling all the Bill Hospital. All the machines don't calibrate and plug in inside of the building. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 had to come. The government nearly had to take them to court to use the building. Oh God, the building been there. All the hospital full to capacity. The nurses and them stressed out to capacity. The helpers stressed out to capacity. People dying like they don't have value. And that wasn't enough for the PNM government to bring sufficient support to Trinidad and Tobago. They say healthcare is free. Look at what it is our elderly brothers and sisters going through in this country. They say healthcare is free. They tell you when it is we speak. When I tell you I support Mr. Ernesto Raymond Kiza down in Point, they're telling you I on stupidness. A black and a stupid and a dotish. And on top of that, I go eat scraps falling from Indian people table. That's what they tell you. But what they ain't telling you is, they ain't even buy a table for themselves. And them, you ain't getting no scraps from them. So while you setting up a proper structure to do respectable business with all ethnicities, their conversation continue to travel back down to who haven't, once they're not supporting them people have to fail. Me as an African in this country, I know 2-3 African who haven't. I myself am a microwave and my little washing machine. And I know for a fact under the PNM-led government, despite who their responsibility is to make sure that African people have nothing. They explained it to us. Matter of fact, the level they represented us, we don't have to ask nothing again. We don't have to ask nothing again. Yesterday, I used the example of Brian Manning for you. You don't have to ask nothing again. This is why I keep telling citizens, keep out of those persons' way. They say healthcare free. That is what they told you. Let me move on to the next conversation, ladies and gentlemen. When Granny ready, Granny go call and give she 2 cents with the healthcare business. Listen to this next conversation, you know. Now we continue to deal because I wanted to come and bring a conversation concerning CPEP. Seeing that the conversation reached so far, I will give this here first before I give you my thing. The judge sends CPEP contract extensions to the DPP. Now listen to the conversation. Marvin Gonzalez, Penelope Beckles, Imbert. Well, obviously, based on Keith Scotland, I don't know where Keith Scotland buy his documents. Scotland is like the world. If you want to lose a case, hire Keith Scotland. Oh, I'm doing the program. If you want to lose a case, hire Keith Scotland. That's the man for you. Keith Scotland is basically overworking our Attorney General. If Keith Scotland was not in Parliament, so for Spain, this is on all you. If Keith Scotland was not in Parliament, Mr. John Jeremy work would have been so easier. Because Mr. John Jeremy don't teach he in class. And Mr. John Jeremy now have to come and teach back over the same thing he now teach that man. And when they're speaking so confident. All you have to do is watch them and say, by some nigga, by some all the African head really hard, you know. Some all the head really hard, by. So again, ladies and gentlemen, based on the position and the structure that we in Trinidad and Tobago, the population continue to bawl, they continue to complain about CPEP. Some of these PNM supporters even had the audacity to blame UNC for CPEP in the condition CPEP in right now. The mad and unnecessary and unjust thing about it, some of the persons who actually support the UNC they're starting to believe that. Like they actually starting to believe that the UNC should just drop everything and just say, let me go ahead as business as usual. And I am guaranteeing you, if the UNC do that, by 2 years, not even 6 months down the road, all are we going to say all of them corrupt by? So the matter done before the court, our responsibility is solutions we're looking for. All right, first thing that we needed a board. Now that we get a board, now we have to go back to the conversation at hand. Because the conversation continued to be the extension of contracts that was illegally extended. Now, while it already in court, apparently, the only reason why it would be recommended to the DPP, it have to be some sort of illegal actions took place. The magistrate finds something suspicious with the extensions of these contracts. Right? So listen what it is. The article is saying here. The PNM second lawsuit has seemingly stalled in the High Court, where the judge not only steered the case by also flagging the extension of 300 contracts allegedly approved without proper authorizations. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Felix.
Bless good afternoon. Talk to me.
Give thanks to life.
Give thanks to life.
So those line and tell me we have free healthcare, free education, and free this.
Free this.
You see the people line up thousands there. So go and get free medication, free surgery, and free this and free that.
Yeah. You see people?
And the majority of the old citizens, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Them bring that PNM and them, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Lying to me all the time.
Lie the lion. The truth come out.
You know what I say now? We black catch we're gonna vote for the UNC and victimizing black people who work in CPEP and European forestry. They talk any government now.
They talk now.
So they talk now, they carry out now.
So only black people
Johnny was collecting all our money for rental, making all our money for friends and family.
Yes.
They want to victimize people all the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there something wrong with them?
Something.
Are we looking for him, eh? Lock down all the borders and the airport and all them kind of things. We have that question to answer. Boy.
We have questions to answer. We have
we
to answer.
That country when they get for corruption and things, give me lifetime and hang. I feel we are hang. I look so blessed. And give back with money.
And give back with money. You're damn right. Ladies and gentlemen, that we boy KFC. Again, bless good afternoon. Bless good afternoon. KFC, pick up yourself wherever you are. I see Matilla, Semantics, Lucky Lal, everyone who approach you guys, bless good afternoon. Just cool, bless good afternoon. So the article is explaining here when it comes to the CPEP and how far we reach with this CPEP conversation. The PNM second CPEP lawsuit has seemingly stalled. Who is this here now? Let me get my boy here. Let me get my boy here before I continue. Blessed afternoon, Freeport. Talk to me.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Blessings to you and everybody.
Blessings, man.
Boy, I don't know where to start from the amount of things I have to talk. I see some health worker protesting in San Fernando that some roof fall down. But where was the health and the safety officer? That roof cannot rotten in 3 months. And they was working there all the time, comfortable. Now they have a problem.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't want to believe that UNC win election and just bring a set of termites and put in that building there and make it rotten on people roof in 3 months.
Exactly.
I don't want to believe that the direction these people go. Hey, what's up with this here? Go ahead.
Yes, so but that was one. And I could tell you about the free medication.
Talk to me.
When you're here, you see the doctor or you have a prescription and you go up to the counter. We only had this, we only had that. When you go to see that in the drugstore, we have this, we have that. So I ask the question, how it is all you just get medication here? The guy does like to ask questions. Whether it is a stupid question or not, I ask him.
Yes.
The guy tell me, well, the ministry just had to supply we with medication.
Yes.
And if they're supposed to give me 2,001 medication, they're giving me 200. So after 200 people come, medication finish. And that is what Terrence Diaz was doing.
Yeah.
He had a big newscast that he taken care of the hospital and them, but the roof fall down. A big newscast again. You have free medication and people can't get. I telling you from my experience,
yes,
I never used to get. And the next one, between Malcolm Jones and Jack Warner, who was more important to this country? Boy? You have any idea?
Let me explain something to you. I didn't even want to go on Jack Warner yet because I have to talk about Jack Warner before I come off today. Between Malcolm Jones and Jack Warner, let me explain something to you, Freeport. They could say what they want about Jack Warner. My responsibility is to go and do the research. This conversation with the United States of America with Jack Warner and the extradition is not because Jack Warner was doing business in the people placing. It's because they assumed that money passed through the country and they are very serious about money laundering. So they have Jack Warner under the inquiry. They want to meet Jack Warner and see Jack Warner and talk to Jack Warner. But let me explain something to you. When it comes to an African person on this side of the hemisphere, partner, I don't care who prime minister or president that we have and will have in the future. Jack Warner has made impact. Jack Warner has crossed barriers and Jack Warner has represented people way better than a lot of those who sitting in office and those who was in office before. That is my take on Jack Warner.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But the reason why, I know that, right? I know that. But the reason why I bring up this issue, the guy that he was playing the clip yesterday, like he didn't know that Miss Kamala Prasad Bisesa had Malcolm Jones in court.
Oh, he didn't know
and
that?
When Rowley come into power, he said Malcolm Jones bring a lot of wealth to this country, so he cannot continue the matter. But the lot of wealth that Malcolm Jones bring to the country was to close down petrol train. And a lot of people cannot see them thing.
Now they can't
I don't know where I was living.
The plane they don't want to see it because if you tune in and you listen to the relevant news, if you tune in and you listen to people who actually know about Petrotrin, they will tell you about Malcolm Jones and Malcolm Jones' contribution. You cannot tune into Rowley and Stuart Young and them who manipulate the people and rob we. You can't do that. That match not making sense. Report.
Well, boy, a lot of people that play blind.
Yeah.
A lot of people that play blind. Because once somebody associate themselves with the PNM, they could do anything and get away.
Yeah.
You know, America raised the bounty on Maduro to 50 million.
Yeah.
They kept him with about, I think, about 17 tons of drugs. And they're looking for him. And you know, people from Trinidad have a problem with that. And when the ship come, the American ship, they say, read along the line, meaning Kamala has something to do with it.
To do with
They can't think
to do with
properly.
what? With Maduro and the money raising?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something. Ms. Kamala Persad and the United National Congress and the Coalition of Interests, along with TPP, have enough problems on their own. They have an entire nation to build back. We lost about 10 generations when you're talking education under Rowley them. Every year is counted. By what's me? By we have to build. Ms. Kamala never have time for that. I noticed
Maybe
this.
more than 10. Maybe more than 10.
Yes. I noticed this. Me right? That.
And everything you was talking about stack and all what he shop what Rowley them finished.
Yeah.
And refused to finish. That school, I think is the Parvati Girls School at unfinished in Pinal. I passed close to that school many times.
All right.
And people start tiffing out the roof of that. Well, they refuse to finish.
That will must happen if you put security and you just leave the building dormant. People will vandalize the place.
Right, because why? Is that Indian was building it.
Thank you. And apparently Ms. Kamala tell them that she wanted to go and get silk because she education and all that high. So let me see if I could go and get silk. So they build the school down there for me and my family alone.
And you was talking about the children hospital, a spanking new hospital with everything. They refused to open that. And I would continue talking about it as long as I get the permission to talk.
All right.
Look, we have the sporting facility in Balminde.
Yeah.
It almost run down. And you know, under the PNM, the people who used to go in there to walk and run and train, exercise,
they
did stop it.
People
that is how wicked this government is, brother.
All right.
That's how wicked.
Freeport, you'll give you a call back.
Yeah, okay, take care.
Yeah, man. Thank you much for your contribution. And what Freeport saying, Freeport touching it on the point too, because that's what we're dealing with. Everybody, we know the facts. It's just those who continue to play political trickery. But again, let me touch back on this here. Obviously, we don't clarify that free medical in Trinidad and Tobago, that was a hoax. That was a hoax. That is a big lie. And they have people out there about, look, just yesterday I ran an audio from a man. He telling people about the PNM government and they organized grant and they paid up the people's rent and they cover all the, paid up who rent? Who rent? Who is the people? Could you identify and point out these persons? Listen to the TV here now. We're talking CPEP now. Mind me, listen where I at. Today, I actually did come to sit down to have a conversation with my government. No disrespect, but again, remember, we in the community and my responsibility, as much as I reporting to you from the governing authority, I had to report back to the governing authority from you. So my conversation today, where I was actually coming to with the governing authority, ladies and gentlemen, again, we can't demand nothing, but again, we had a showy conversation all day. You're showing it all day. Hopefully, if it making sense, it making sense. If it not making sense, this is why I like the real talk. This is why I like our listeners. Somebody go call in and say, well, nah, I can't do so based on this or based on that or based on this what was implemented at that point in time. So what I was saying, right, is that the CPEP structure, we don't find out exactly what's going on. We done have Faris jam up already. Faris name heading by the DPP already. Now again, while that going on, we encouraging Mr. Alexander and Mr. Sturge because we know although don't deal with them things personally, but we also know that you guys have the responsibility to find the resources to combat crime. So if we combating crime and we combating white collar crime, one would want to expect that this documentation reach the DPP ASAP. Because remember, based on PNM statistics, they tell we 30,000 people out of workforce, but then the ghost gang conversation come up, so they bust that in half. And then when they say, well, boy, really and truly, we got to look into them gangs, they bust that in half. So rightfully and factually, we don't exactly know how much people was actually working CPEP, literally. Why I say that we don't know how much physical people was working CPEP. We know it's supposed to have a particular amount of people, but the PNM themselves and all talk about ghost gang. And if them themselves talk about ghost gang, and them have been in power, them have been in charge of CPEP for the longest, well, then they're talking about themselves running ghost gang. That's basic information that done out in the public. My responsibility is where we're going from there. So we're speaking with brothers and sisters on the ground. I mean, we have to be real and reasonable because everything pause, everything halt. So a conversation I was coming with today, just to touch on the CPEP thing, is that we get to understand 300 contracts was renewed. My thing is, we done had the board, so now the board had the responsibility to bring the data now. The full 300 contract was renewed on that structure, or is it that a certain amount out of the 300 was renewed? And even of those who wasn't in the whole 300 thing, the 2-3 days before election, who wasn't in it, who name didn't call at all in it. But we had 300 contractors to put back out to work. We already have a structure. The Prime Minister already said that she don't want to scrap it. Sabari Padat already said the government said they don't want to scrap it. So then obviously we're trying to hold on to it. So we come into terms with the elements. This was my conversation today. We come into terms with the elements that we had dealt with. This is what we left with. A $1.4 billion scandal where Faris Harwari honestly thought that they would have win election despite poorly representing the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They went and cut deal with contractors to extend their contract while the contractor already originally had time before the extension. My heights was, just in case all the contractors was not a part of this tiptoe behind the door and ask and sign for extension, if all wasn't a part, you see those who wasn't a part, let we keep them. So let me just say if 150 or 100 out of them wasn't a part of that extension signing, let we keep them. And you see, let we keep them, let them finish the time. And you see the next 200, them, you will have to replace. That is how I was looking at it, that the conversation I was coming with today. When you replace them, now mind me a matter going on as normal. Because we don't want Faris and them tiptoe behind no door. He could come up and explain to we that he was working on what advice at the end of the day. You was the minister. It is your responsibility. The earnest falls and it lies on you. The fact that the CEO is saying that you manipulate the structure, you encourage them to extend it, you advise them to do it. So now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not me. The heights is we must get back to work. We already have a board that is going to start to get salary from next Monday, money running. I don't understand 6 months to go organize paperwork. That kind of frightening. I think Khadija and them deliver paperwork shorter than that. Sir Roger Alexander and them started talking about things. Mr. John Jeremy, who dealing with a lot of matters. They deliver a lot of information in less than 6 months. So if the majority of the evidence is already outside, we come to terms that $1.4 billion in jokiness took place. Faris Harwari have to explain to the people, not me saying so, the judge saying so, the judge saying this is wild. Now I must ask today, while we continue to say, where is Faris Harwari? Let me get KFC here. KFC, bless you there again, talk to me.
Yeah, my with that conversation there.
Go ahead.
But we don't know who's the culprit and them. Faris Harwari answered, question to answer. Calveston, Procro, the Bush.
Yeah.
For the extent contract fee for 6 years.
Yeah.
We know all the rest of the contractors. And the poor people right now who cutting the grass,
them
who reading up, who in the blind, go back to work.
Yeah.
And I have if it had 300 and something contractors,
Yeah.
it have 100 loyal,
Mm-hmm.
you hire them back.
Yeah.
And it had the UNC activists, supporters,
Yeah.
they have the regular documents and things, they can go in and bid and get contract and things,
Yes.
and hire back them same workers and them, and let me get the work done.
Let me get going.
Yeah, let me really. Because
Thank
right
you.
now, people need money right now, Mr. Felix.
Yes, man.
We can't wait until 6 months and 8 months.
No.
Because we community clean and the roads and the bridges, everything clean. Because we're pushing a rainy season.
True.
So, Peter, I'm going to look into that. Honorable Barry, I'll look into that.
Yeah.
And you get the work done.
Please. Yes, man.
Yeah, bless.
Thank you much. And to my UNC family, we just say no disrespect. We just having the conversation. We just having the conversation. Because again, as I report from you to the people giving me the conversation. So I just repeating back on this is what it is people thinking about. I woke up on a group of people and this is what I was thinking about. Seeing that all the information done outside. The government done how we back already. Them done showing we that they're going behind this. They're going and fight this matter. So then what the people saying is if it had 100 out of the 300 that did not participate, if it had 20 out of the 300 that did not participate, if it had 2 out of the 300 that did not participate, we holding on to that too. And now we had to look for contractors. We had to get back out to work. We don't have a CPEP board. The government done working. And let me be real. Ms. Kamala Prasad, Bissessa, and them, when you ask the government something, they're going and they're bringing the information. Them and putting me on no 6 months wait. So CPEP board, I understand what they're doing and all they have all the business, the administrative and a CPEP, all they have all the thing to do and full 100 respect, proper transparency while all they deliver doing all the thing. Work with the government, allow the government to work with you for the betterment of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. But what we're saying is, do the investigation. Monitor the names, monitor the contractors. And if it have at least 2 out of the 300, keep that 2. The next 298 contractors, we the people of Trinidad and Tobago standing with our government. You can't tiptoe behind we back. Call we stupid and dotish. Push racialism. Push division. On top of that, extend your partner time and didn't even get the workers $1 increase. You see, on that, we standing with the government and we asking we government. We giving we government full authority. Deal with them. While you're dealing with them, let we head back out to work, please. We know we have some brilliant minds. Mr. Barry Padarat, if this meet you today, big brother, please consider what I'm saying, look into it. This is the information coming from the ground. This is the information coming from UNC and PNM people. This coming from the people at Trinidad and Tobago. People understand the disrespect that they put us in. Listen to the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. The PNM the PNM's second CPEP lawsuit has seemingly stalled in the High Court, where the judge not only stated that the case, but also flagged the extension of over 300 contracts. Now, mind me, approved without proper authority for investigation by the Director of Public Prosecution. So when you hear the DPP get involved, your responsibility is not to look at the magistrate who realize that there's something shaky in the midst of this. Your responsibility is to not look at the ethnicity of the magistrate who realize that something is making sense in the middle of all of this. Because if you look lower down in the article, you will notice the judge, to the PNM people, will get something to hold on to with this year. Because the judge also explained that Faris must have a chance to respond to the allegations. And this is what it is we have been asking Faris for weeks now. Where is the press conference? You come back out to talk to we about a situation that we didn't ask you about. We asking you about a $1.4 billion fiasco with you and the CEO and the heads in CPEP. You were the Minister of Local Government. The folks who actually work at CPEP point the finger at you. They pointed the finger at you, so now you shut down the country, have our grass growing outrageously high when we have people to cut with grass. But we cannot go ahead because you utilize 300 of your contractor friends. Oh, God know how much. And I have to call them your friends because all they explained to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, not me did it, Foster Cummins did it. Foster Cummins told the people of Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to CPEP, URP, and Forest Reserve, that is PNM breeding ground. And when you look closely into the structure that we was dealt with, this is corruption on the highest level. Not we saying it. Look, the magistrate and all saying it. The magistrate forward the case to the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution. Let me be real. The Director of Public Prosecution, you know. So there is nobody in the PNM that could come to us today to tell we that this falls under politics. This have nothing to do with politics. This is blatant corruption. This is what this is. This already have magistrates and everything mixed up in it. Look. So this is not Barry Pararat and Khadija Amin and Urban Felix giving you the opinion. This is not that. This is not UNC in a comfortable position saying, well, all right, let them hold their backside and forget CPEP. We don't business, but this is not what is being done here. But brothers and sisters, again, if it is you do not run back to this year, you would be under the impression that your government hang you up. You would be under the impression that your government didn't care about you. If you care about your government and you're under the impression, because I know my member of parliament, I don't listen to him man talk. I don't have to be around he to know that he's fighting for me. That is naturally in him. That is in him. Look at what we're taking from Anil Roberts over the years. You don't have to be in Anil Roberts' presence to know that Anil Roberts will stand up and put down a fight for Trinidad. And he don't care if he lost. We're fighting. We're fighting. People depending on me. They went through 2 elections and still fight. Anil Roberts went to the election. Khadija Amin, all of them went through it. Following Miss Kamala Prasad-Bissessa when the gospel was being preached that she's an Indian and she would never win election again in this country. And all of them hold the ground. So there's fighters. Were you telling me where you feel like I want my son to be a failure? You feel like I want my children to be a failure? We have good examples right before our eyes. We have it. Well, you could tell me you as a PNM man, boy, I get harassed. Yes, I don't want nobody to see me supporting UNC talking some good talking. UNC talking some real good talking. Boy, you wouldn't believe I get on this. And when I read the damn thing, I say, boy, if these people implement half in this, boy, the country good. All these is talks, people talking. But you telling me, but because I was a PNM for how much years? Ladies and gentlemen, all of that conversation is of no value. Look at where Mr. John Jeremy is today. That is of no value for integrity for your family, for betterment for your country. Your responsibility always supposed to be is who delivering the better governance, who giving the best offer, who actually speaking in an angle that your family could profit from. And brothers and sisters, they could say what they want. They could tell you what they want. In 2024, when the United National Congress was distributing the layout of candidates, yet I doubt it will have an event in this country to display unity like that day. The UNC continue to show with the coalition of interests that they care about the people. So to my UNC government, to my coalition government, to my member of parliament, to my local government minister, my honorable prime minister, and all the relevant persons, there's no disrespect coming from the ground. Some people bring it across rough because people under pressure. There's no bullying and we fed up by it. Some of them talking it. Some of them talking it. I'm not responsible for them who talking it. I could tell you what people meet me and tell me I walk into different groups. Where they're telling me is that, boy, really and truly the thing hard. But Urban, I know we have a skilled government. That 6 months with CPEP, that's not making sense. They don't even believe Ms. Kamala and Pada are not comfortable with that. And if that is the truth, that the supporters is feeling the right thing, well, then I just asking my governing authority, all you look into this. If one of the contractor did not play a part in the extension thing, well, then get rid of the rest and keep that one. And let me go to work. That go hold up in court down the road. Because obviously something take place wrong here. So Faris Harari planning to scheme we money. Despite, you see how they're wicked and greedy and gravelacious? Despite all your rent money that has been discussed over the years. You dress up like one of the biggest mobsters from Italy. Your collar always right up to the top and your shirt button down to the lowest. And the only thing that you can't do is represent the people. The only thing, they could dress nice. Ask them for Fitzgerald Hines. You're here in TH, it's like, whoa. All the best set of pronunciation. You gain all of that. The only thing that you cannot get is good and respectable representation. So to my governing authority, die the word on the ground. No disrespect. Please look into it. If it cannot be done, well, I know somebody will reach back out and say, Oven, I don't think we could do it so. I don't think that we could do it so. Right? So it will be easy for me just to relate back to the brothers and sisters, all the X is Y, and this is what they say can be done. And again, our next idea come up, we discuss it. You know why? Because we building with the government. Each and every one of us have a role to play in building Trinidad and Tobago. And anybody who has common sense will tell you that a closed mouth don't get fed. Let me move on to the next story here. The paper kind of active today, Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa won the election. The United National Congress with the Coalition of Interests won the election. Over the years in Trinidad and Tobago, when you look at the activities taking place in school, the level of violence that is being displayed, it makes you wonder if some of these children have parents. It makes you wonder if these children come from the jailhouse and come to school. Because nobody is saying you can't fall out. But it's the depth and how far they're going assaulting people's children. Now again, April 28, the people of Trinidad and Tobago had a responsibility. Based on the governance that we were receiving from the former administration, obviously people became fed up. The nation became despondent, and it was our responsibility to look for proper governance. Now, based on what it is, again, as I tell you, no matter who tell you the UNC ain't have no plan, look the plans on them right here, right? And there are about 5 booklets. I'm just finding them one by one. Look the plans on them right here. So the UNC government had a responsibility to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, right? And with UNC having that responsibility now, their responsibility, they have to look at the diaspora, the education sector. Now, when things happen, you have to look at that. Now, I myself put out video, wait at parents. I see two big women fighting in front of Cedar Secondary School, and a cutlass end up in the middle where people getting plan or something. This is the kind of activities that actually taking place in front of some of the schools. In front of some of the schools, we have parents jumping out and hitting people children instead of asking for a number and calling them mother. Because you don't know who is who children. You jump out and you're looking to fight people children. I see action where children, 1 child, and 7 children jump the children and beat up the people children, bust up the people children head, and then gone on social media and boast about badness, and we in charge of badness. This is what it is our school sector have been dealing with. Now, and just in case that you don't know, when you send your children to school, you fighting up because you don't tell your children, hey, anytime I catch you in any one of them video, I'm breaking your ankle. Well, I don't know we mothers just talk to me. Anytime you hit a woman, I break your hand, you know where that's go. So your child take the talk. So your child not in the midst of that. But here is, when them children fighting the pelting bottle, they're doing all kind of jump kick, moving with knife. They're doing all kind of outer timing things. So listen to me, when we went to vote, my responsibility, I had to take into consideration the direction that my government going. So I had to hear what did my government take when it comes to education. My prime minister guaranteed us, no, we will really have to look into this installing police into schools. We will really have to do that into certain schools. And next thing we will really have to look into, you see the smoking, AJ? We got to make some adjustment with that. And next thing is drinking. We got to make some adjustment with that. And next thing, and next structure we will have to implement is if it is you can't take care of your children and your children fight in school, and Worse, if your child have a history, well, then your child can't continue coming to school. Your child will have to join a program. All these things was implemented. All these things was discussed before election. Election come and done. My prime minister talk about extending the age for alcohol, meaning pushing up the age for alcohol. You know, they had no problem extending CPEP contract, but they have a problem extending the alcohol age for young people. Well, you understand what is being displayed in this country. They have no problem with Faris and them going wrong the backs as citizen and trying to rob we $1.4 billion by extending CPEP contractors' time. They have no problem with that. But you know what they have a problem with? They have a problem that the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago said the smoking age and the drinking age must raise. And that was a big argument, especially coming from Africans in the PNM. Miss Kamala, wicked and bad. You imagine, first Imbo disrespectful and out of timing. I wonder if he go stand up and represent his family and the children in his family like that. But all that we know, when you're 16 and you're 17, all that we know when the evening reach, you just feel for a smoke. You just tell your little family them that? Why you coming to tell African and East Indian people children that? About 16 and 17 when the evening reach, we know that just feel for the little smoke. Why would you do the citizens that? Why would you do that? And this is what was done, ladies and gentlemen, under the PNM led by Rowley. So Imbot and them now, they get to tell we children, and they go ahead and smoke. And when they go indoors, they pull in them children and tell them, hey, I know why you're smoking. Listen with all that slackness with the PNM, that neglect, the shortcoming. Listen with that put us here today. The state to pay a student over $260,000 after a 2017 attack. Listen, the school have a legal duty to ensure the safety and the welfare of students. The High Court judge ruled in the landmark decision to hold the state liable for injuries suffered by a 15-year-old girl during a violent assault at the secondary school in 2017. Who left to pick up the pieces? The people. Who had to pay the bill? The people. Who had the responsibility to make sure and put a structure in place that this do not continue to happen? The government. That is who we supporting. So if it is, you don't worry to have to pay 260,000 by 260,000. Because some of you know damn well that these people and them 3/4 of them who sit down quarreling about books. When they get the money to buy the books, they're going by the bar. They're going by the hairdresser, they're going by the nail shop. They're making sure and buy up the clocks because you have to have a fresh clocks. And the children in school barely a pen, so barely a pen. And when the children feeling less than, the only thing to do is to be a class clown. The only thing to do is to be a badger in school. Because mommy and daddy did not put the relevant structure in place for me. How the hell this next person child could end up with the same thing? Everybody living in the same community. Somehow we working in the same blasted work. And it's year after year after year. Teachers have to continue asking for help. The school have to continue asking for help. The government not providing help. So they know, when I tell you, we had generations that was left behind. Look, somebody said, let me put that one on the screen. If I had put a cigarette in my mouth, my mother and grandfather at that age, nah, this is why I'm saying, this is what it is I'm saying. And when you voted in a government, your responsibility is to have constructive conversation. You sitting back and having these banner jokers and them, now it's time for you to open your mouth. If what I say about CPEP make any sense, ladies and gentlemen, is all you have to support it. It is our responsibility to play a part of positivity and upliftment. Our responsibility is not to come out and tell people about why the government didn't care about we buy. Or try to override Mr. Barry Padara, to override Mr. Raymond Onesto Kiza. That is not our responsibility. But none of these persons, none of them, not one of them come out of them out to say, don't use your mind and think. Not one of them say, if you have an idea, keep it to yourself. That is where they get the last time in a row. While we deal with these things, all these failures, all this madness continue to tie back to the PNM. They tie back to the former administration. Listen, 144 billion US dollars. They can't tell me where it's spent. And look at this. More addition to bills. $260,000 this government had to find now for a child who was assaulted under the PNM government. The Minister of National Security ignored the people. The head of the National Security Council, he didn't business. Matter of fact, he was on a boat in Miami in a good spirit when the hospitals didn't have insulin. He didn't business. He didn't business. He did not business. So when I tell the sisters, when I tell Trinidad and Tobago, when I tell the brothers, and I tell we grandparents, it's time to come out of them people way. Give them people the room, give them the space. They victimize us, they disrespect us, they poorly represented us as a people. Look at on the world stage. First, they did a poor job. First countries calling them human traffickers. Not the country, they're calling the leaders, the former leaders. You know how you ain't hear about Short Young yet? Because he ain't going nowhere yet. That's why them name ain't call yet. This conversation about who take on Interpol list, them know what they do. Section 34, don't forget. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Me? $500 million on that live spot. Don't forget, no problem. We are playing with them. Alwari 2017 cabinet note authorize CPEP to hire and fire contractors. Where they get this? Former Rural Development and Local Government Minister Faris Arari say proper investigation into the extension of 300 contracts was welcome after a High Court. Dalbelly, talk to we. Rule of the matter.
You're going to say, I hear you coming up with a good topic, man.
Yeah, man, talk to we.
Hear this. The straight on the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the minister say, but we smoking and thing, right?
Yeah.
What happened for that? Because smoke a little weed. Check and see, right? Check and see this, right? The ratio. Check and see the wasn't. Check and see the real reason. Check and see the story African is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a rate case that about 5% of the Indian maybe those most times the state education, right? Most times.
Yeah.
But you referring to the African, just smoke weed and dead. And on top of that now, plant marijuana, man. Smoke and dead.
Plant marijuana and smoke and dead.
Forget about education. Yeah, smoke and dead.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that they were going on there. They were going on. Give them weed. They want marijuana, give them marijuana, they kill one another. Check that. Real life, you know. They're giving you the thing for Africans to kill out their own. Check that. It's not a real thing at all, you know. But it's fact, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Talk to you.
They want marijuana? Give them marijuana. They want more rum to drink. Give them rum to drink.
Give them that now, man. Just give them that.
But the minister wouldn't tell the children that they were going on there. When they don't work, 17 years going to marijuana. They wouldn't tell their children that, you know. But they're telling the African, one or two Indian, and them, hey, they were going on there. I could smoke weed, you know. You see, come down and bring in thing they want to raise the age. They kill it. You understand?
Yeah.
They stop them from drinking. As a matter of fact, they could start drinking 14 years. For in what and them, in them.
Yeah, they're glad for that.
Drink. Yeah, they're glad for that. Drink and smoke weed.
Yeah.
Come on and keep it down.
Yes, man.
Kamala
and UNC and Kiza and all of them and Clyde and them And Dalbelly and them, all of them wanted to be doctors and wanted to be engineers. And that shoppiness the one for you. Want a little own house and car and all them kind of shoppiness and carry your family Paris. Yeah. What the hell you going to do with that and you could smoke weed and mind your business? When you don't smoke weed, you go do it and you ask a man for $5, don't beat up. You go eat, you go drink.
That is what I never check good, right? And next thing again there, right? With the bank, right? Well, they keep only African, you know, well, even check, right? On our way, sure, the Indian, I'm going to try a little bit, right? Maybe a farm or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the Afri bank, everybody will get something.
Yeah.
It's not really African or good, right? But to develop the African and them. Right?
Just
but
like
I don't want that.
No, Dalbelly, just like the Hindu credit union, them never only used to do business with Indian people. There's all ethnicity by name Hindu credit union.
Right. That's what. That's what. But they want if you do check good, they just want the African to be done. I like Indian, I like telling them, I just want the African to be done. Yeah. Let us suffer. Election time. Election day, wrap up a jersey, give them a $5 and a roti.
Yeah, and Guinness. Don't leave out Guinness. Guinness in their backside. Whole week is Guinness.
And Guinness. Yeah. Well, I think Guinness changed now with a punching in a chubby bottle. And a good day. And they say great. What is it? Great is you what?
Great is them and the thing is. Great is them and them.
And they put left foot and right foot.
Yes, man. And sweep it time.
Yeah. Don't forget that.
Nah.
Here is. Don't forget to drink a cup of that and keep your mind your business.
Nah, Dr. Wina. And it's that. Today's Friday, a good day for some that.
Yeah.
All right, tell your grandson I say
yeah, man. Right.
Yeah. Again, I Dalbelly. Dalbelly, tell your grandson I say bless good afternoon. Trinidad and Tobago again. We over the 500 are saying bless good afternoon to you. Thank you for the continuous love, the support and endorsement. But here is, this ain't no playing thing, this ain't no joking thing that we're dealing with here. This is what it is these people see and this is what they want for us. Go down, Pam, for the young lady and get all the work in CPEP. You understand? Whoa, their school, don't play with them. Don't play with them. And this is what it is we saying. What it is we saying is we have a responsibility to play a part of the upliftment and the development of Trinidad and Tobago. The last time in wrong, the last government wrong, nobody couldn't say nothing. Thank God Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessa and her team stood the fight. So no matter whether it's COVID, whether it's house or disability grant, whether it's corruption or laziness, they always continue with the fight, whether you supported it or not. They always continue to speak up on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Bless good afternoon, big brother. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Good afternoon, Felix.
Yes, man.
I was Jordan at apartment waiting.
I think so.
For the last 9 years, I was Jordan at a PNM talk show host on the program there.
Well,
they bring no ad, they run down the station. I see about two youth men, they have a big fat one, they call Dream, whatever his name is. Anytime I go and talk about the PNM, he trying to caution me. And even the rest of PNM callers trying to pull along the government. I find we should be looking at the radio station and trying and defend the government.
No, well,
so when them PNM come to spread the propaganda and the lies.
No.
We have to about the lies, you know.
Yeah, see, let me tell you
so
something.
I call the Iraqis in the UNC the same way. Look at Gabba George and Gabba George that. It's our radio talk shows. We want to have to look to.
Thank you.
Because we are defending government from that wicked PNM and them. Because that much of PNM talk shows and that program selling and trying to pull along this government.
Thank you. Thank you. What I like with it is that all you're watching. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What I like with it is that the viewers and them watching. This is why I tell people, we living in different parts of the country, but where I live in, I cannot afford to send mixed message. I am telling you that I continue to stand with my member of parliament. I continue to stand with the UNC member of parliament. He have no reason to bring no zigzag conversation towards my way. All this big boy talk about CPEP. CPEP now closed a couple of months ago. You know how long I have been unemployed? You know how long people in St. Patrick have been unemployed? Bless good afternoon, caller.
Bless Brother Felix and to all the listeners. A blessed time Friday evening.
Yes, man.
And share it live. Let's build a momentum. Keep it clean and within the confines of Facebook.
Yes, man.
Because the PNM is after us to muzzle us. So, Brother Felix, this is your partner who like to ask questions.
Talk to me.
You know, when Petrotrin goes down, you hear all of them fellas from Barataria, Sawa, all up on that side there, and Aruka side and Moloni side and thing. They say that a cleaner in Petrotrin who does make coffee and tea went home with $55,000 a month to make tea. Right?
Yeah.
You remember that they were spending about?
Yeah.
Then, because then, so I want to ask now, right? $1.4 billion in CPEP spent, and it's 10,000 workers in CPEP, right?
Yeah.
Well, I tried to check this thing, Uncle Felix, why?
The Matson. Go ahead.
Because here all going on there, I kind of stupid and illiterate, and I don't know, I only have 10 toes, 10 fingers, but they tell me I have 2 thumbs, two index finger and other things. So I don't know how many fingers I have.
Yeah.
But I just call it 10. Right? So if I check it kind of roughly, right? There's $10 million for the 10 years for each guy. And it will go to be $1 million a year. One CPEP worker get.
Thank you.
Because there's $100,000 a month for a CPEP worker. It costs for one. But how liars are we? Could come on the media and say it's 1,400, they're hungry, they're starving, and that they buy books. No, man. Because 1.4 billion.
Thank you.
Yeah, so 1.4, you telling me it's only $1,400 a fortnight to get it? Where the hell my money gone?
Where our money gone? Where we money gone? That's the question.
Yeah, so and I want to ask any other caller to help this stupid fella who called it Uncle Felix and given ask this stupid question. There is over $100,000 a month as if people was getting. Because $1.4 billion, billion. Eh? Tell me now, boy, all there. And all they say, all the hungry and starving. Who get our money? But if the listeners and the CPEP workers understand the message, they will know how much slavery still exists.
Thank you.
So, Brother Felix, keep up the good work, and we're looking for the money still. Have a pleasant weekend.
Thank you much. Thank you much. Same to you, big brother. Yes, man. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a good question there. Where we money gone? My responsibility today is Friday. They tell you there is no plan. UNC win the election. They have nothing to tell you. They have nothing to say. Let me just touch on this one a little bit now. This one is the Ministry of Education is the key leader in formulating the UNC Strategic National Development Plan. Let me see where number one see. Let me see where number one see. Number one clearly explain the preparation of all children to maximize education opportunity. Under that, we have a set of universal screening and treatment of children between the age of 4 to 6. So we start from the bottom coming up the road. This is what I tell you when I went and vote on the 28th. May I forget why I went and vote for, because I remember it's a school that was flooding. I remember it's a school over in early, and I remember a lot of things. Number 2, preparation of parent and guardian to assist children to maximize education opportunities. They say don't have no plan. Number 3, transformational intensivity to improve the education system. Again, under that we have student support, provision of tablets and laptops, Things that the Prime Minister and them establish literacy and libraries. Listen, things with the Prime Minister and them talking about school management and leadership, establishing position and master's principle to lead and manage high-risk school based on high improvement ability. All these is things inside of this year. This is why I'm telling you, if it is you don't have this and jump back between this ever so often, you would be under the impression that your government left you in the rain. So seeing that a lot of people don't have it, and then the conversation is UNC don't have a plan. This is the plan. This is the plan. Our responsibility is to encourage them to stick to the plan. And on top of that, the UNC get opportunity to make a budget to start to execute this plan. And look at how many things you already pull out from the plan. The same monies that PNM had planned to spend otherwise. Spending in the plan. And the plan is based on the people, for the people. Because again, the UNC and the coalition of interest, especially my member of parliament, their responsibility is the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Go over in Tobago and ask them. Ask them, the two representatives that they have in parliament today, what is their interest? Their interest is the people of Tobago. And our responsibility is to stick to the facts. Don't let nobody come to explain to you about your government. They have no plan. And your government, they have no plan. Listen to the next one here. UNC-led government armed to restore prosperity to the working class in Trinidad and Tobago. This is the document here. All look the same. It's not one document. Where one say, the UNC workers' agenda is to build on some core commitments to our national working and trade unions. One, the UNC reject, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, the UNC reject the unjust 4% and 5% imposed on all state sector workers and commit to engage in a free and fair collective bargaining process through the office of the CPO. This is what we want. This is what the UNC guaranteed us. We have Ms. Jennifer Frederick. All of them want to talk the thing, but the level of the conversation is so illiterate. Come and let we talk the thing, where you don't have enough sense to know the government didn't deliver this budget and the PNM didn't plan to deliver to the public servants. So then how you want UNC to get the money to pay the people if the government who put out, the former government who put out the budget is Imbo to read the budget? And first Imbo did a poor job for the 10 years. The PNM had no choice but to remove him from being the Minister of Finance. That is so that they have an excuse not to answer questions. Look at the kind of zigzag Faris sitting with. Faris had the audacity to come out and have a press conference about a next topic that is not important as we $1.4 billion from CPEP. That conversation is way more valuable when you, anytime you see Faris, we asking, well, what's going on with that? The CEO say the show WhatsApp message. You manipulate the people. My government explaining, no, you go have to start negotiation based on the contribution that we see. Here what they think. The thing is only for Lisha alone getting the 10. Only the PSA president, she don't have no supporters. That is how they stink. So she got a deal for herself to get 10. The fact remains, Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a copy of this, you would be under the impression that your government have you in the rain. Number two, UNC will commit. UNC is committed to creating a living wage to ensure that all workers earn sufficient salaries to support themselves and their family comfortably. That is number two. That is number two. The tell you they have no plan. Number three, UNC is committed to amending the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority legislation for the PSA union successorship to ensure representation of the TTRA workers. Didn't they deal with that in the conversation with, come on, man. All these things have to be done, must be regularized, must come to a standard, and must start to work on behalf of the people. And if you don't put it in place, if you come into office and don't implement it, well, then next 5 years, we're going to end up saying that we will implement it. And this is what we don't want, seeing that we have a government that understands that it is disrespectful. It is disrespectful to give the public servants and them 4 and 5%. Seeing that we have a government that's saying that. And when you look inside it, with the public servants and them, that we families them, that make me feel to go to work. That make me feel to contribute to my society. So my aunt who is a nurse, my sister who is a teacher, this one who make us feel to go to work. You have no problem paying taxes once you getting back something justifiable in exchange. And this is what it is we want, ladies and gentlemen. Not because the former administration teach people that living poor is the way to live. That means they catch everybody. No. Everybody don't agree that living poor is the way to live. We all don't agree that we're supposed to stay poor. If we agree that education is the key to success, what becoming a problem in Trinidad and Tobago is that we end up with a lot of educated people in our communities. They facts. A lot of educated people in our communities. But the doors of opportunity have been closed so long that plenty of them is turning to criminal activities. I tell all you, let's sit down and think it's only black and chicken who dons shooting people nowadays. That is not the position that Trinidad and Tobago in. And to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, if only under the impression that them fellas and them who robbing and stealing and is bandit. It's the information that them have in the head because people tell them somebody owe them something. Remember, Indian people has get you a thing. If you go by the bank, African can't get nothing. It's only Indian people have thing. All the place shopping and daughters. So we're telling me about Indian man don't like you, boy. We're telling me about. And that was installed in we. That level of venom, we had to dig that back out. Look how many young people died. Look how many young people were slaughtered. They slaughter in their own self. We murder in our own self. Weakening we own family. And listen to the conversation in the background. Eh? Listen to the conversation in the background. The conversation in the background is that 80% of the food that is consumed in Trinidad and Tobago is being purchased outside of Trinidad and Tobago. So then whose responsibility is to encourage the man who bringing in the food to make investment in the agriculture sector? How are we going to encourage people to make investment with the government in the agriculture sector to build and boost the agriculture sector? If all are we who young, strong, and vibrant, the only idea we coming up with, me telling you to own your gun, it done there already. It done out of hand already. But you can't have your gun to guard your garden, boy. Everybody don't know you have your gun. You use the wettest thing in the neighborhood. So you can use your gun to guard your garden. You organize a little farm program in the community. Instead of having them young fellas and them stand up on the Nation roadway and smoking weed as Rowley and them want them to do. While they're smoking the weed, let them do a little planting, play a little music in the background, change the atmosphere, change the vibes. Everything can continue to be violence. Everything can continue to be like we lick down a boy and send home a boy. It can continue to be that, and when you listen to the conversation, your aunt and them still paying $30 for a Zabuka. The man who have Zabuka local, he can't afford to drop the price because the man who's shipping in Corelin. And this is the position we end up in. The amount of goods coming in the country that when you plant it, you cannot compete. Because the man who bringing in, he bringing in a proper load. When you think you have a reasonable amount, and the people who buying go quicker buy from the man with heavy load. And the man with heavy load go bring in extra, so you get extras. So the local farmers, everybody end up tie up. So something must be done to fix that structure. And we can't have all the land in this country and still be asking about vegetables. So brothers and sisters, all the catch where are coming from. We have a responsibility to play a part in building Trinidad and Tobago. And the doctrine that somehow we have in we head, like Indian people owe we something, no, that is shoppiness. The doctrine somehow we have in we head, like Chinese man wrong for doing business in Trinidad. Like I supposed to sit down now and wish all the Spanish people who was able to come in after COVID and open my business. Because I sit down under African government, well skilled, well qualified, and I cannot get financial support because the structure that the display that the African Prime Minister show is that African people in this country is of no value. Penelope Beckers was of no value. Kennedy Richards Jr. was of no value. Adrian Leon C. was of no value. Marvin Gonzalez was of no value. Camille Robinson Regis was of no value. Chamfa Kojo was of no. You could call any African name. None of them was of value. You want the engine room from the PNF? Rohan Sunanan Cousin Hussein. Paris Alwari short job. Imbert, and then you put Rowley at the side. And when you think them really following Rowley, it's really Rowley following them. This is what we get. We were shown that African people is of no value, no matter how educated they are or how uneducated they are. And the excuse to hide from the population that Africans did not take care of their own. People like Juliet Davy and them was able to tell people them is PNM long time. And them no PNM get Indian people thing. Check back in she own conversation. She cannot tell you that PNM get African thing. Matter of fact, what she structure, obviously, based on she condition PNM and she nothing. Just look at them, you know. Just look at them. Look at them. They were telling you when I take in Miss Melba the other day. PNM Melba. I say, but Melba more gangster than all of them. Because Melba had enough belly the other day to tell Trinidad and Tobago, tell she PNM supporters. All you could say, all you want, Miss Kamala is a strong leader. And she hope one day Miss Penelope Beckers could be as strong as Miss Kamala Persad Bissessa. And when I hear Melba say that, Melba is considered as my opponent. Melba and them opposite my party. They're not supporting my party. Melba show me she's one of the most funkiest person in the PNM. That despite all the old talk and all the mama guy, she come to terms. Miss Kamala Persad Bissessa not to come out here with muscle. She don't have to come out here with that. Organize a proper plan. Apologize for mistakes that was made. These are all human beings. I have to be one of the biggest hypocrites to sit down here and pretend for all like my name is Mr. Perfect. My mother make sacrifices. I went to the United States of America and embarrassed my whole family. Gun in my hand, gun in my waist, selling drugs in the people place. Embarrassment. So when I talking to you off of the fact I'm making foolish mistakes. And that is not really considered mistakes. When you're misinformed and you're underinformed, you practice activities that you think is healthy for you. That is a mistake I made. Because I was lacking information. I didn't understand my value as a human being. I didn't even realize I wasn't even supposed to be poisoning my own people. My people is human beings. We are human beings. So I had no reason to be selling my own people poison. So as much as we sitting down and we talking here, that people could tell you that they see when that young man was in the United States, it was so bad that my father, when he came to New York, he didn't afraid to visit me. All his friends tell him, hey, there's no guarantee you're going to make it back out. So when I listen to the conversation in Trinidad and Tobago, and you know how that end up? Because when you're there, everybody talking to you, yeah, Biggs, you're the man. You good, you are the gun, you are everything. Everybody like what you're saying. Everybody will support you. Not one person will tell you that you're wrong. Not one person will tell you, boy, oh God, you could have taken it down a little bit. Everything you say right. You see when the police come and them blue lights come, and that gate slam, bradang, the only person, and I telling all this straight big man thing. Me I grew up with mother and father, but based on doing the research while being in jail, the only person who does be left with the burden, the only persons I should say, is the woman. When I say the woman, either we mother, if not we mother, we wife. all the friends, all the lime, all the rum, all the beach lime, all the lime down the place with 2 girl and all them thing. All them people doesn't be there when that time reach. It always does boil down to we mother or we wife. In Trinidad and Tobago, look over the period of time. We reach so far to victimize women in this country. And this is of all ethnicity. If it's not domestic violence, it's assault. If it's not assault, Jesus Christ is rape. And the thing gets so loose and helter-skelter. First, the thing becomes so common and so disgusting in this country. How far a case with the young lady who was dismembered in the suitcase? How far a case reach? That case like we just... How far a case reach? It's like when we lost a woman, it's like that small thing. And to me, it's getting annoying. Because at the end of the day, despite what I had children before, my wife. Despite what? My mother is a woman, babe. My aunt and them is women. My prime minister is a woman. My wife is a woman. My president and all is a woman. And it have a reason why we find ourselves in this position today. It have a reason why we are women leading today. This is why you see us sit down. You see the day when Philip, everybody could tell you, remember Philip is a man. Don't hesitate to talk. But the day when Philip turned around and say, boy, you are listening what Miss Kamala Prasad is saying. And this lady, like, she take a drastic turn for the betterment. And despite all that was said, Philip had no problem for the betterment of Trinidad and Tobago to stand with Miss Kamala Prasad Bisasa. But you could tell you what they want about Jack Warner. They can have an African that would be born in this country. It will take years again. Jack Warner happened to meet the Queen of England. Jack Warner get to meet the President of the United States, not by the coming into Trinidad. He actually was very instrumental. Just in case all they didn't know, he was instrumental in getting the President to come to Trinidad and Tobago. But they could talk what they want globally about Jack Warner. I telling you it's facts. Jack Warner didn't went to America and rob nobody. America concerned with Jack Warner concerning some funds where they see pass through the country and they're very serious about money laundering. So that is their argument with Jack Warner. Jack Warner never went to America to thief nothing from nobody. If they have a person in the world could say that. And were you telling me, after Jack Warner made the full circle, listen, the full circle, Jack Warner could have lived anywhere in the world. If there's one human being in the world that you cannot tell how much money he's supposed to have, it's Jack Warner. Anybody try to have that conversation, you're fast and out of your place. Nobody knows the money that they was working for. So there's nobody that could bring a back down conversation to try to tell us how much money Jack Warner is supposed to have. This comes just like some foolish people in this country. Their argument to continue getting people to not support Miss Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Listen their argument that when Miss Kamala become the prime minister is when she started building she house. That is when she started building the house. All they playing stupid. The same month she win election, so Kamala Prasad Bisesa win election, become the first female prime minister, and she first act is to go by the treasury and take out money and fix she house. And them catch people with that dotation. And when you ask them, well then what is Miss Kamala Prasad Bisesa profession? And all right, forget Miss Kamala. Miss Kamala is a woman, so let me just keep with fingers crossed, although we know the facts. Let me just say that Miss Kamala was a housewife. What was the job portfolio of Miss Kamala Prasad Bisesa husband? And if you know the truth behind that, well then talk done there. You cannot tell me a lawyer and a doctor living together, married together, cannot build an outrageous house. Don't do me that. Thank you very much, semantics. You can't tell me that, and they're convincing people that. They're convincing people that Kamala needed we money to build she house. I mean, it's going to be a little more easier becoming salary right there in the bank. Don't get no harass. I've got so many people at Trinidad and Tobago, as the Prime Minister. Thank you very much. But I don't mean to say if she was never the Prime Minister, she would not deal with law. She would not deal with business. So having a stupid conversation like that would show how illiteracy is heavy in this country. Here, next one. That does blow my mind. Irvin, you playing mad. What do you mean by it? So UNC, when Kamala win the election, how she take the country money and spend it in Saparia? Serious? What going in Saparia? So UNC they do all kind of road and send the highway down there and give all them Indian and them contract so that they could build a house and so this is why I asked him and I said, so let's just repeat back what it is you're saying. Yeah, what to do for me? Just take Kamala out of it, put the PNM Prime Minister, and repeat back everything you know say. And you tell me if you wouldn't feel good if your Prime Minister do that for you. Over the years, PNM telling you, vote for me. I'll go stand up for you. Vote for me. My responsibility is to bring goods and services. You have to get pavilions, adequate street light. You have to get this, you have to get that. You see under this 5 years here? Well, based on where the economy is, I doubt the whole of Pinal and Saparia and DB go get proper drainage and I doubt because the kind of money I have to spend on it. But when UNC run over the 2 terms, Dr. McFC, Dr. Wade.
When Felix,
Oi.
as I'm talking about that, the woman with the banner, the president here, that wicked PNM woman. I think she programmed yesterday. You know what she said? Equivalent pump all the money in Indian areas like Carney and all of them where the bridge down there.
Damn lying. She's lying. That, you know? She's lying. That is a damn lie. That is a lie from the pits of hell. That is a lie. Eric Williams embarrassed the people. He had a ball dragging down Indian people. If the Mahasabha didn't stand up for Indian people, God knows where Indian people would have been today.
You know, I agree with that. It's true. Because the people who concerned voting the PNM, watch your constituency.
For real.
She lied to us. She told the truth. Watch that Felix. Watch point 14. Watch them place every day at the PNM.
For real.
They're not proper schools, they're not proper roads, they're not nothing.
Nothing.
They don't have emancipation community, nothing. Should I attack us all through the year?
We are nothing.
So PNM was just using black voters for the vote.
That is what they did. That is what they did.
Yeah. Well, we are among the lies that thing in there, but I'm telling you for sure in the UNC, Felix, you know, 91.9, then we can give you a message. We have a local election coming up, and we have election coming up. We have to keep the fire blazing because for the last 9 years, there are some PNM talk shows. They defend wickedness for the last 9 years.
Partners.
And that radio station, you know, I still a big fat one. You know, we come here, and that's why I go and talk about the PNM. We try to caution when I go and burn fire.
Nice.
But the PNM is the cause of all this thing we're going through this country. So people run away for healthcare.
Thank you. Thank you.
My second donation to the 6-year-old boy who get bad treatment up there and bad injection. We're looking at a proper investigation in that.
Yes. Yes.
A young, strong youth man, 6 years old, and they tell me like, boy, me, you know, nah? We live enough for the authority to deal with that.
Yes, man.
Bless.
Bless, man. Thank you much. Bless, good afternoon. Bless, good afternoon, my brother.
Bless my brother and everyone. Bless. Brother Felix.
Oi.
You had to tell your Solia that at least this come up a Bissessa. Then say she lives in Siparia and she don't know not one of them, not one. she know everyone in Siparia.
Yes.
And you go tell them, Sonia, right?
That is the truth,
Yeah. And tell them, because Rowley say he represents the about 29,000 people, and he know not one of them. Right? That comes from Rowley mouth.
Yes, that's truth.
And when they're talking about my esteemed political leader, Bella House, right?
Yeah.
Tell them that Chinese get in Tobago, right?
Yeah.
She didn't give a contractor to develop the land, and then after get a discount, and then put it on the integrity form the right way. They squeeze it in on the same line. Right? They squeeze it in the same line with the other writing. You understand? And just imagine for a prime minister, he has crap of foot handwriting. Tell them, right? When they're talking about buying property, they ask them if they know anybody has land in Amsterdam and in Denmark, right? So, Brother Felix, so once again, tell you, Sonia, right?
Yeah.
My prime minister know everybody, and Barkpo area was flooded and neglected by the PNM since the inception of indentured laborer. Have a pleasant evening.
Thank you much, big brother. Thank you much. Again, we say blessed good afternoon to Barapur. Blessed good afternoon to Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6 minutes after 2. Again, it's your boy Irvin, and this has been our next episode of Real Talk. I continue to send you love this blessed Friday in beautiful, beautiful Trinidad and Tobago, this 2025. Brothers and sisters, again, it's Friday, the 8th of August. And as we continue to navigate, I continue to ask you, let us stand firm. Let us continue to support our government. We don't let this thing run away like a runaway horse, brothers and sisters. The government continue to work on our behalf. You don't get tied up with the racial politics. You don't get tied up with the unnecessary conversation. Right? I don't waste. And if after all that work, there is a conversation coming out at 91.9, that is rather troubling to me. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, I tell all you, I cannot afford to play those games. 91.9, that didn't put a Spain, so them probably could play them kind of game. I can't play that in point. You see, the problem I end up with in point is that 72% of the revenue that taking care of this country, it has come from point. So that means at some form, this is when the country rolling now, boy. The PNM did a very good job of having all of us unemployed for the longest. So in order to get the country back up and running, it take a collaborated effort of people in Point 14 and outside of Point 14 to get the thing back up and running to a standard. So I can't afford to play those games. My member of parliament already gave the assurance. I talk about particular things since the election. I saw all my contractors in Point 14 not being given an opportunity. Let me take this one here. Bless good afternoon, caller.
Yes, Mr. Felix.
How you do?
Good show, man. Good show.
Yes, man. Victor, how you doing, man? Talk to me.
Yes, I'm finally out here. Here happening. I support the Prime Minister and the coalition government 200%.
Yes, man.
I get no property tax. I get no additional
light bill
payment on light bill.
Yes.
Water rate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And more to come, and she haven't read a budget as yet.
Yeah.
Just imagine that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a budget will come here.
A budget will read.
So we have to break. Yeah, we have to sacrifice and wait for a while, and things will come. Things will happen.
Yeah.
For 10 years we were strangled as a nation. Right?
Yes.
10 years. $600 billion spent. And nobody had a problem with that.
Yes.
You keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. I'll call you back.
Thank you much. Thank you much, caller.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I continue to say, that other people could play other games and carry the message how they want. Me and Line, I just get stressed too. People talking to me too, and CPEP this and CPEP that too. But I cannot forget what I vote for. No more numeric points. Thank you very much, semantics. I cannot forget what I vote for. And although I vote for prosperity, in order for we to be prosperous, and this is our next thing, and it have a person in this country could dispute what it is I am going to tell you. the PNM and Marvin Gonzalez, Camille Robinson Regis, Keith Scotland, all the big boys in the PNM, all the educated big boys, Kareem, all of them talking big talk. Ask them this. Was it the PNM or the UNC that installed the procurement legislation in Trinidad and Tobago? When you're done, you can ask them, why did a government install the procurement legislation of Trinidad and Tobago? And semantics, where you ask me, why, Irvin? Semantics, I have no problem to explain it to you. The United National Congress found it fit to install the procurement legislation in Trinidad and Tobago to keep transparency between the people of Trinidad and Tobago and not the government and their monies. The same UNC that we were told to tell we Pande ain't good, Kamala ain't good twice. She wasn't good the first time, and this second time she ain't good. Pande wasn't good at all. But them same people who not good, the same people who don't like we, the same people who don't want we to have nothing, install the procurement legislation to keep transparency, whether them in or out of government, so that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago be aware when money is going to be moved. People can live on CPEP money, but we need food. Plentiful. The cheap housing. All right, that's not, let me get this here. Let me get this on the screen. The people can live on CPEP money, but we need food. Right, plentiful, cheap housing, transportation for the people to get to work and back. That is truth. That is truth. But I hope you didn't miss this conversation. On number 2, in UNC-led government aims to restore prosperity to the working class in Trinidad and Tobago. So this is one of the manifesto. And number 2 in the manifesto, look, number 2 right here in the manifesto, clarifies the UNC is committed to creating a living wage to ensure that all workers earn significant salaries to support themselves and their family. So if it is, you're working right now, and they say they would make sure and install a working wage, because we already come to terms, the money got to go up. How it going up is based on the contribution of us, the citizens. Look, somebody, look, their school put up Pande. Why it seems to me that every time we're talking about a government that made decisions to benefit the people, it's always the UNC we're talking about. PNM go have all kind of big boy CARICOM talk and this talk and all these big boy talk. But they were so successful that allow Shell to run, Exxon, all of them grab the bag, everybody drag out and run. Nobody didn't want to be put under sanction with the continuation of the PNM government. Obviously, the Trinbagonian citizen, we didn't want that. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, again, my name is Felix. Listen, living wage unions have been fighting for over 10 years. Leave the conversation here. And the union dealing with the government. So then that means the union and the government is. That is what I'm telling all you. How we conversation have to go. We have to go and ball up on the government. They don't put it on paperwork, so our responsibility is to come up with the relevant conversation. We are part of the development too. If we have a new board and the new board have to sort out CPEP, look, we add in a little thing there and say, well, all right, if it had one man who didn't participate in the extension thing, well, then let me give you respect. At least he have common sense. Get rid of the rest and hire new people. So if it had 2 people out of the 300 contractor, well, then we need 998 contractors. We will keep the 2 and then we get to work. This is it. approximately $300 billion by the UNC from 2010 to 2050. We get stadiums. But Daniel, I had to leave that on the screen like soak a little bit. It had to soak a little bit. Because these things fall under facts that people don't know the truth. Or they plain they don't know the truth. Semantics, I see that. This was semantics put up here. This is our responsibility. Our responsibility is to debunk their propaganda. This is what you guys just help us do on a daily basis. So yes, you might have a little problem finding TC and Heavy, but I'll show you. You just stick close and you go find them back simple. You go find them back. Because it is our responsibility. Listen, please don't let the morning break and you miss Andy Williams. Again, all you know the Douglas out and about, all you know we boy Anil Roberts. Don't hesitate. He does come out with the facts. Again, you know, we are breaking down out and about. I see my boy breaking down was outside the other day. Big up yourself breaking down. All in all, your boy even between the hours at 12 and 2. You know, we have we boy opinion box. We even had the next real talk with Ali. So we are real talk with Urban Felix and it's a real talk with Ali. So don't miss none of the real talk. Ali just come up about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, somewhere down there. I will get you proper hour. Me and know them personally. But if we support them together, I think costing me nothing to tell you. If you see Stark put out something, go up and look at Stark page. You see opinion box? Condolences to TC and the passing of his relative. I didn't know that. So I got to call TC. And TC, if you happen to get this information, if you happen to be taken in the life, we send in condolences, the Felix family, the 648 team, the Real Talk team. We send in condolences, brother. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I tell all you, we in this together. You know the slogan here is each one help one. His dad. Whoa. So again, I send condolences. A couple of years ago, I lost my dad too, so I know where it does be. Condolences, big brother, to you and your family, all your loved ones, all your friends. Condolences. And ladies and gentlemen, while we at it, I want to say to all those who celebrating birthdays. See some note put up the TC and the passing of his relative, praying for him. So ladies and gentlemen, before you close off, while you're navigating, after we come off and you're just moving through, may we just say a prayer for we brothers and sisters who lose family and friends due to unforeseen circumstances, whether it be natural causes or negligence from those in authority. We just want to say condolences and ask the Father to continue to cover them and be their comforter in this time of grief as we navigate together. Ladies and gentlemen, all those of you celebrating birthdays today, from your boy Irvin, from the Real Talk team, from the 648 team, ladies and gentlemen, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. And again, we're saying those of you celebrating anniversary, whether it be car, or whether it be a new job, whether it be a house, or whatever it is, we're sending a happy anniversary to you. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my responsibility is to remind you, if it is you see the program and you like the program, the information is on the screen. And the thing is about supporting. If you like the program, brothers and sisters, we have to keep the phone line open. We must keep the lights on. My responsibility is to make sure that the internet is up and running. You notice we get a little good today because we have people looking into it now, boy. So we'll get proper as we're moving along, right? As I tell all you, in order to get it proper, we must have more than one internet connection because it's easy. If Marcus is at PNM and Marcus come to work, Marcus can zap me normal because it's people who actually controlling these things. Don't bother with them and make you feel that you understand what's going on in the country. So I want to say a blessed good afternoon to each and every one of our brothers and sisters. I want to thank you all for tuning in, for viewing, for listening with me, continuing to send some love to my beautiful mother out there. I'm sending some love to Point Fortin. Don't forget to send some love to Princess Tongue, Trinidad and Tobago, Sawa, Edinburgh 500, Toko, Manzalina, Rusilac, Dow. Wherever you at, ladies and gentlemen, we continuing to send love. And we ask you to stay focused. We ask you to stay blessed. We ask you to stay under the blood as you navigate through this weekend. Remember, weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. All you continue to stay focused, continue to stay blessed. Until we meet tomorrow, please, the Lord, I am out. I love all you.
Oh, yes. Hear the cries in the streets at night. So many dreams born out like light. Youth them caught in a system code, chasing shadows that take the toll. But the rhythm of hope is strong. Feel the beat and guide us along. Plant the seed of change in the ground, and with the fruits of love from the song. So we can rise from the shadows as we shine. Through the pain and the sorrow, leave the darkness behind. For the youths and the future, let the healing begin. The rhythm of the island, let love put us in. So come from the dust till dawn, as we rise up every morn. We'll fight through the skies like rain. All people will rise again. In hand is how we'll start. Everyone can play their part. But woman and child come in. Let the plantain begin. Troubles may come, but I'm a praying soul. Devil just try, but he just never learn. So much on my mind, if I tell you, just look at me smile. When them do me wrong, I do them right. I'm just a man, who just pray at night. How I let go, how I look it, how I feel. If you see me jumping up to the ceiling,